This is our dilemma. Continually running toilet. And why is that happening? All right, so if we come up here and look, we've got a universal flow valve where the water comes through, comes down. This is our universal flush valve. And for some reason, this is not working properly. And this continues to have just a little bit of water going into it. So I could just get a new flush valve and it might work. But since I'm going to tear this thing all apart, I'm going to put a new one of these in too, and a new one of those. And I'm going to put in new hardware down there. Look at that. That stuff is just rusting away. So that's my plan for today. All right. First thing you have to do is shut off your water valve down here. And that's a brand new shark bait thing I just put in there. I mean, shark bite or whatever they call it. And then you got to flush your toilet. Because we got to get all the water out of the tank. And you're going to notice there's still water in there. So let's just go ahead and open it up again. Try to get it down. And you can get a glove or something in there and drain it. But we're going to have water in the tank no matter what, and then we're going to try to pour it right into the toilet, into this tub over here. So I purchased this from Home Depot, heavy-duty bolt tanks, 2 of them. And as you can see, there's 2 there. Hopefully they'll work. And then I bought this. It's a Korky universal complete kit. Fix your toilet in 1 trip. And supposedly this fits. What they're saying is it fits almost every toilet. So I'm hoping that that works. So we're going to give that a shot today. All right, so I'm just going to try to get this water out of here as best I can, as much as possible. All right, to get all the water out, I've got to come down here and I've got to loosen all of this right here and take this off. And this connects to that universal flow valve above me, and this connects to the water supply coming from the shark bite down here. So that's what it looks like under there. If you come over here, you can see there's the bolts that I've got to loosen. There's one there, and then of course there's one on the other side over here. So those are the 2 that hold the tank on right there. All right, so anyway, when I loosen the bottom that I just showed you on this universal flow valve, the water that's in here is going to drain out. So down here, we need to have a bucket right under that so that it flows right into the bucket, not all over the floor. Because as you can see, I just replaced this. Now I'm going to fix the toilet. So that's what our next deal is going to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to first unscrew this here, and then I'll unscrew the very top. As soon as I do that, water is going to come out though. So you'll see. And get it under there. So when the water comes out, I want it to spill in that bucket. There we go. Not too bad, huh? So we're just going to leave that to the side, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this. I may have to get some channel locks on it. All right, so here we go. Just going to loosen a little bit and then I can get on there. All right, so now all I got to do is just loosen this. That just comes right off. And that's what attaches your universal flow valve to the toilet. That's it. See, when I push this up, water's going to come out. See? So you got to have that thing under there. Still got some in there. So when I pull this up, it comes right out of there. So I just detach it from here. And then that just comes out, put it in the garbage. There you are, there's your hole. So now you can see where the water's coming through. Got a little on the floor, we'll wipe that up real quick. And now we gotta do step 3, which is loosening those 2 bolts. So I gotta get under here and crank them up with the channel locks. There we go. Looks like it's already loose. Look at that. It came off pretty easy. Almost there. All right, that's that one. Done. Now I gotta do the other side. There we go. Bam, done. And now we can do it with our fingers. What's that thing behind the toilet over there? What is that? I have to check into that and see what that thing is. So anyway, I'm just bringing it off, as you can see. Now once we get these two off this side, then we can lift the tank up. And bam. Save them just in case you need them. Now I'm going to rock it a little bit. And you can see the water's coming out. That's not good. So I got to tilt it one direction, otherwise the water will pour out that universal flow valve area, as you can see. All right. So what I'm going to do is lift her up. That's it right there. And then we're going to pour that water out here. Okay, so anyway, here's what she looks like. So we got to pull this out. We're going to put a new one in there. I think that's a 2-incher. So we'll throw that in the garbage. Then we got to clean that up a little bit. So I'm just going to get it clean. I might have to get a blade on this. Scrape that off of there. So I'm going to go downstairs and get one. So you want to get this good and clean. So you get a little blade on it like that. Get that stuff out of there. Because you want a seal on this. It's got to seal really well. You don't want any water squirting out of it. Which could happen if you're not careful. Paying attention to what I'm doing. Hope I got it all. Alright, so anyway, this is where the water goes in to flush your toilet right here. Flushes right down through the flush valve. And these are the 2 bolt holes for hooking it in. So you want to make sure this is cleaned off good. We got it pretty clean. Maybe I could do a little bit more. Let's see. And I've got to get these 2 bolts out of there. I should be able just to pop them. Just like that. And they come out. Yeah, there we go. There we go. They're done. We throw those away. And then my tool, I've got a special tool that grabs this and turns it. And you need to have this and then to lock that thing down. So I'm going to grab that now. All right, so if you're changing out a flush valve, you're going to need this tool right here. You can see it right here. It's a Husky 10-inch. And basically it's just a giant, it's just like a giant pair of claws that loops around this thing here. And you can turn it with it and loosen it. So that's what we're going to do. I got to grab the flush valve inside here, holding on to it, right? I'm going to get this baby on there. I may have to open it up a little bit. I'm going to get that on there. And then now I got to just turn it. Does not want to turn, does it? Righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we go. We're getting there. Gotta loosen it up. I'm holding onto the flow valve on the inside with my hand really strong because this thing's on there tight. But now, let's see if I can turn it with my hand. Nope. See, I'm turning that with my hand. Now if I push it forward, it just loosens right up. I'm almost to the end, so you can see it. So here's the inside, and what I was doing was holding on to this as I was turning it. All right, so anyway, I'm holding on to it in here. It's the only way I can really actually get it to unspin. And then I'm just unspinning her. And that's off. And then this is here, and then I got to take this off the handle. Pop it off. And there's the old one. And you can see it's pretty much a mess. So it's probably a good thing we're switching it out. So that's going to go in the garbage. All right. So these were the bolts that were in there. I mean, Look at that. That's not good. Okay. So on the back, I'm going to scrape this too, just to get, so we have a little bit better seal. You want that to be nice and flush so you don't have any leakage. And as usual, I'm making a good mess, which I have to clean up. I think I'm going to try to scrape this too a little bit so we get a better seal there. See? That could be a problem there. That's where the bolt's got to go. You don't want water leaking out of this onto the floor. Now let's get the other side. It might have been easier just to change the whole toilet out. This is important because you got to have a smooth surface for that washer to seat on, so no water goes through here. So, you know, this is important, that's important, and these are important. So we've got 4 holes in here that water could seep through. And when you're on the 2nd floor, you get a leak. That's a nightmare. So we got to make sure that we do it good. I think we're getting there. When you're doing old stuff like this, man, oh man, there's so many problems. They're unforeseen. You know, they show that on the videos on YouTube, they show people doing this stuff, and it's like, slam, bam, thank you, man. But real world application is much different, much harder. So many more problems that you have. So there's a big lump right there. But I think if I get it seated there, it should be okay. Look at that. Shit. I'm gonna get a Brillo pad. We're gonna clean this. See? Much better. Let's get the other side. Now the key is I've got to get it to seat across around there, and that looks like we might be okay. Let's go again. Well, it's 100 times better than it was. See if I can get this crud out of here. So anyway, with old, toilets or, things that are like 30 years old, you're going to have all these problems. And this actually took me the longest out of everything that I did, cleaning the bottom of this toilet and getting the lumps off of there so that I could put the bolts in there and they would set right and they wouldn't leak, was the longest part of my whole install. So you can see I had to clean it all up. There was all kinds of mess. So you're going to encounter these real world things. When you watch the videos on YouTube, they've got clean toilets, they got clean bolts, everything comes out, they can get to it easy. But when you're doing it yourself, for real, it's much different. All right, the thing I'm worried about is on here. If you look, there's little ridges. But I'm hoping that the rubber will cover it and we won't have a problem with that. But I don't know, man. I mean, this thing is so damaged from this stuff. So let's take a look at our pieces and we'll check it out. All right, so anyway, these go on top like this. They set through that. And then this rubber piece is going to be right there like that on that. And that's supposed to make the seal, and That's supposed to make the seal on it. And so that's why this kind of worries me right here. I might have to try to get that off of there. Same thing here. It goes like that, and that goes right on it. And that's got to keep the water from coming through here. So this one's got a big bump on it right here. Let's see, right here. Maybe not, maybe that'll work. There's only one way to find out is to put it all together and see. The first thing we got to do is put in our universal flush valve. All right, so the way a universal flush valve works is the water goes down here, it comes out the bottom, and it fills the tank. And when you flush it, you pull on the plunger in the toilet seat, and it lifts that up, and all the water flushes out. That's how it works. And we're going to go ahead and put her through just like that. All right, so let's set this on the side like that. All right, so if you look, I'm just seating that in there like this. And that's pretty much the way I want to have it, just like that, on a kind of like an angle. All right, and then I got to come over here, and I've got to screw my little thing onto it and tighten her down. And that's pretty much it. That's it. That's all it is, believe it or not. So now what I got to do is take this, get her on here, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And you're just going to tighten that bad boy down. Super tight, like that. So if you look, that's on there. And then in here, if you look, there is our there's our flush valve right there, ready to go. And we can bring it up higher if we want. See? And we'll figure that out after we get it in there. And now we've got to get our universal flow valve in, which is pretty simple too. All it is just sticking it in and tighten it down. So here's our universal flow valve. It's got some extra parts to it. And it's pretty simple. It's just going to go through there, and then we're just going to lock that baby down. So this is going to have to go this way. You see it? Like this. I'm going to push it right through the hole there. Right there. And it's going to be in there just like that. That's it. Now let's look over here and see how it comes through. And that's where she comes through, right there. So on the bottom of this, you can see that there's a plastic, what you call it. And now we just got to get it tightened down. All right, so let me see if they gave us one. I don't think they did. I think we have to use this one. Thank God we didn't throw it away, right? So we're going to use that one to tighten this down. So first I'm going to put it through. Make sure that I've got it even. I'm going to get it in there. See, I'm putting it in through that hole. Then we're going to come over on the back side. We're going to grab our thing. We'll just get it started. Just like that. That's basically it. And as we tighten her up, this is going to stand up more, like that. And then we'll be ready to put the tank onto the toilet, the water closet onto the toilet. All right, so anyway, I'm going to hold this from the inside. I'm just going to screw this on. And it's going to get on there nice and tight. Then, to give it a little bit of extraness, let's open up my channel locks. And I'll just get it on there, just so it doesn't come off. And that's going to keep the water from coming out because you want that tight. And I think that's pretty damn tight there. Now this thing here we can tighten down too. So let's get our tool here. Let's get on it. And we'll just go ahead and want to make sure it's not turning the whole thing. So you want to hold it on the inside. And you got to get her tight. Otherwise you get a leak. Of course you don't want it too tight because you don't want to break it. That's it. I'm thinking that we might be good. Maybe I should get it a little bit tighter. One more. That's it. That's good. All right, so. All right, this giant red washer ring, you smush it right on to the bottom of the tank over the universal flush valve that's sticking out. And that's how you do it. Feed that through there. And that's going to be the top of our bolt setting down. So let's do another one. So we only have two. And that's it. Now those go through those two little holes from the inside of the tank. Cha-ching. Gonna go ahead and slip that baby in there. Slip that baby down in there. Now there we go. Now we've got our two bolts in. Now we just got to get underneath it. All right, so the instructions are telling me that then I also need to put this on this side. So I got to kind of hold it from the inside, push this down on it, like that, and pull this down, like that. And then the same thing over here. Get inside there, I'm holding it with my finger from the inside so it stays rigid and stiff. And then I'm just pushing this down. Then I'm going to put a bolt, 2 bolts right here. So now I'm going to put a bolt on each of these. First this one. This is not the way the other one was put together, by the way. But this is the instructions, so I'm just going to do what they tell me. And then, get over here, we'll do this one. There we go. Now I need a flathead screwdriver. So I'm just going to get my screwdriver on here, like that. And then we're going to turn it as I hold the bolt on the other side. We've got to do that for both sides. Or we could just twist the bolt. Got to do it both sides. Of course, it's dark as shit in there. Now you got to be careful when you do this, because you don't want to break the porcelain. But you want it watertight. Believe me, you want it watertight. I'm kind of just using my hands to hold it, and I'm gripping it nice and tight. So this gives me 2 seals, one on the bottom, one on the top, which I think might be a good idea. Now if I could grab it with the channel locks and just get another little tightness on it. And then just get a little more tightness on it. And then get in there with a screwdriver, get some tension on it. I think that's pretty good. I think I've tightened it down pretty good. Now this is what they're saying. And the only thing is, I still gotta tighten it to the bowl. So I've got 2 washers and I got 2 nuts still. So I'm good. All right, so now we gotta set these through these holes and set this right in there. And we're ready to rock. Let's do it, okay? All right, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just pick her up and gingerly try to find those little holes, and then it should seat right in there. And done. All right, so you can see it's leaning a little bit, but once I put the washer and the screws there, or I mean the washer and the bolts there, then we'll be all right, I think. Okay, so you can see right here, that's where we're going. So I've got to get the nut and the washer on her. Just get it started. And then we're going to play with the how much tension we're going to put on it. So righty tighty, lefty loosey. And just get it started. There we go. Now we're going to go back and forth from one side to the other and tighten it down. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Just remember which way to go. So I'm going to keep on tightening it, and I'm going to go from one side to the other. That's what I'm doing right now. Till that bolt maybe touches. And then we should be good. Tighten her down. Oops, going the wrong way again. Righty tighty. This is cool because it's got this little thing here that you can do this little movement with. And it gets it, hold it in there. So I gotta look and see. As soon as my bolt is close to the, there, that's as far as we want to go. So you see my bolt in there resting? That tells me I've gone the distance that I've got to go. Now we got to go on this side and do the same thing. If you look on this side, the bolt's almost down. As soon as we get that bolt down, then we're good. So close. I'm always worried about how tight I should make it. I think that's going to be good. I don't want to get too much tighter than that. All right, so anyway, I put this on the chain on here, which is pretty simple. First of all, I had to figure out what depth I needed because I want this to rise up, right? So I got it like that. And so I had to shorten it a little bit, as you can see, about 2 inches. But I think we're going to be good. It's got a little lip. You got to pull it, push it down, it's on. Bam, done. Next, you got your hose. All right, so anyway, one side goes in here. Like that. And the other side, of course, is on here. Well, that's not easy, is it? Huh. So you might have to do this before you put this on. Huh. So yeah, this is ridiculous. Let's take it off. Let's do it like this. So anyway, put this on first. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to get this sucker on there. And it's cutting the shit out of my hand. It's so fucked up. Right now, we got to do this part here. All right, now we're on. So that was a pain in the ass. That was surely a pain in the ass. All right, so I guess that's how that works. Now, your universal flow valve here. And it seems to be loose. Should be good. All right, before we do anything, I'm going to put some water in there and see if we get any leaks. Because if we get any leaks, then, oh my God, all this was for naught. All right, so anyway, I've got to get my water supply line on. And then our water supply line is on. I want to get it on tight. Tight. Make sure that's on there tight. And then her water's shut off right now, but as you know, this spins, by the way, which is kind of cool. All right, so I think that we're good. Now, the question is it going to leak? Shall we just turn the water on and see what happens? I guess we could. All right, here she comes. She's filling up. Cross your fingers, ladies and gents. Just hoping that this is going to work. Got our water flowing through there nice and fine. Got that baby going. And we can raise this. We'll see how high it goes. And there she is. She shuts off right there. All right, now let's try a flush, shall we? Let's lift the toilet seat up. And here we go. You ready? That worked fairly well. And that came right back down. I think we did it. I think we fixed this thing. All right, we'll let her fill up, and then we're going to come back and make sure there's no leaks. All right, so anyway, that was $21. That thing was, I think, $5. And instead of buying a brand new toilet, cha-ching, we just saved that bad boy, put all new guts in them. That's how you do it. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and check out my other awesome videos where I fix things that I've never fixed before. And if I can do it, so can you.